The diplomatic meeting aboard the Zephyrian vessel Harmony's Edge was proceeding exactly as Ambassador Kethlos had planned. The humans sat across the polished conference table, their primitive clothing and crude technology marking them as the lesser species they clearly were. Two representatives, a female called Liana Chen with dark hair pulled back in a simple knot, and a male whose name Kethlos would provide once the human confirms it. "Your proposal is interesting," Kethlos said, his four eyes blinking in sequence as he reviewed the human trade agreements on his tablet. The other Zephyrian Council members, Veltar, Merixen, and Quendo, nodded in unison. "However, we fail to see what your species could possibly offer the Galactic Federation." Liana maintained her composed expression, though, male character, shifted slightly in his seat. The humans had been warned that this first contact would be challenging. Earth was seen as a backwater planet by most galactic civilizations, its inhabitants barely worthy of notice. "We understand your skepticism," Liana replied diplomatically. "Perhaps we could demonstrate some of our capabilities?" Kethalos's mandibles clicked, the Zephyrian equivalent of laughter. "By all means. Show us what makes humanity special." What happened next would be discussed in military academies across the galaxy for generations. Veltar, reaching for his ceremonial crystal goblet, knocked over a decorative food preparation station. The magnetic locks disengaged, and a curved Zephyrian cutting blade, sharp enough to slice through their diamond-hard carapaces, spun through the air in a deadly arc toward Liana's head. Time seemed to slow for the alien observers. Most species in the galaxy would have flinched, ducked, or screamed. The Zephyrians themselves, despite their advanced technology, would have relied on their personal energy shields to deflect such a threat. The crystalline collective would have shattered into protective fragments. The void dancers would have phased partially out of reality. Liana simply reached up and caught the knife. Her hand moved with liquid precision, fingers wrapping around the handle just behind the blade's edge. She absorbed the momentum with a slight twist of her wrist, the weapon coming to rest as naturally as if someone had handed it to her. No wasted motion, no apparent effort, no fear. The silence in the room was deafening. "Interesting blade work," she commented casually, examining the knife's balance before placing it carefully on the table. "Probably ceremonial given the decorative etchings, but the edge is remarkably sharp. Your metallurgy is impressive." Male character leaned back in his chair, seemingly unsurprised by his companion's reflexes. "Liana used to compete in knife-throwing competitions back on Earth," he explained to the stunned aliens, "among other things." Kethlos felt his primary heart skip several beats. In his 70 years of diplomatic service, he had never seen reflexes like that. The casual way the human had plucked death from the air suggested capabilities that their intelligence reports had completely missed. "How?" Veltar's voice came out as barely a whisper. "How did you calculate the trajectory so quickly?" Liana looked genuinely puzzled by the question. "I didn't calculate anything, I just caught it." "But the mathematics involved," Merixen interjected, his tablet already running probability simulations. "The spin rate, velocity, gravitational, influence, air resistance, our computers would need 0.3 seconds to plot an intercept course. You moved in 0.05 seconds. "I suppose," male character said thoughtfully. "We should mention that Liana's reflexes are actually considered pretty average by human standards. She's never been selected for our military's elite units." The Zephyrians exchanged alarmed glances. Their intelligence had focused on humanity's primitive weapons and crude starships, completely overlooking the biological capabilities of the species itself. "What?" Kethalos asked carefully. "Would your elite soldiers be capable of?" Liana and male character shared a look that made the ambassador's scales itch with apprehension. "Well," Liana said, "there was this one special forces operator who caught a plasma grenade barehanded during the Mars colonial uprising. But that's probably not relevant to trade negotiations." Quendo dropped his stylus. "A plasma grenade. Caught. Barehanded." "Perhaps," Kethlos said, his diplomatic training finally reasserting itself. "We should discuss humanity's potential membership in the Galactic Federation more seriously." "We were hoping you'd say that," male character replied with a smile that the Zephyrians would later describe in their reports as predatorily confident. As the meeting continued, the alien diplomats found themselves reconsidering everything they thought they knew about Earth's inhabitants. If an average human could catch a blade from mid-air without even thinking about it, what were their warriors capable of? Their athletes? Their pilots? The implications were staggering. By the time the Harmony's edge jumped back to Zephyrian space, the galaxy had gained not just new trading partners but a species that would fundamentally change the balance of power among the stars, and it all started with a human woman casually catching a knife. In the months that followed, as word spread through the galactic communication networks, other species began reassessing their own intelligence reports on humanity. The knife incident became legendary, spawning countless military analyses and tactical studies. The consensus was universal. Nobody wanted to find out what humans were truly capable of when properly motivated. The age of human expansion had begun,